You will never truly heal until you understand this about your mother. These words may weigh heavy on your heart, but Carl Jung once said, "The path to healing is not paved with comfort, it is paved with courage. The courage to look deep within yourself, to the place where the first figure you ever loved and were hurt by resides." Jung did not see the mother merely as a flesh and blood person. He saw in her an archetype, an ancient, living symbol embedded in the deep layers of the unconscious, shaping our inner world long before we could even name our emotions. Healing is neither about blame nor idolization. It is about letting go of the illusion, to see that your mother was neither a saint nor someone who hurt you out of malice. She was a soul, once a child herself, carrying wounds, fears, and shadows she never had the chance to heal. And perhaps she passed on to you the very pain she never understood. Only when you can see your mother with eyes of truth, with both compassion and clarity, does the journey of true healing begin. In Jungian symbolic psychology, the mother is not merely a specific person. She is an archetype, an ancient image, alive in the depths of the collective unconscious, carrying the power of creation and nurture, but also the potential to become a force of limitation and imprisonment. And here lies the crucial point. The mother complex is not about blaming your mother, because most mothers loved in the way they knew how, did their best within the constraints of their circumstances, their upbringing, and the invisible shadows they themselves could not see. What you carry, your emotions, reflexes, fears, are not simply the legacy of one individual. They are echoes of an eternal pattern, a motif that has lived through generations, cultures, and countless souls. Once you understand this, you begin to step out of the realm of judgment and into a space of compassion for your mother, for yourself, and for the beautiful yet chaotic nature of human love. Because healing does not come from fixing your mother. It comes from freeing yourself from the bindings you didn't even know you were carrying. You may say, "My mother loved me deeply," or "My mother wasn't very present, so how could she have affected me?" But Jung wasn't speaking about the mother out there in the world. He was speaking of the mother within you, the first emotional imprint etched onto your soul long before you had words to name what you felt. As a child, you did not learn through reason. You absorbed every gesture, every absence, every embrace, every silence, how your mother loved herself, how she responded to pain, how she quietly endured or erupted in rebellion. All of it became the raw material from which your identity was formed. Jung deeply understood what so many overlook: the struggles of adulthood, anxiety, fear of failure, repeating painful relationship patterns do not arise randomly. They are echoes of things that were never spoken. You think you're afraid of rejection? Perhaps you're really afraid of that old gaze, the one that once demanded you to be perfect. You think you're in pain because someone left? Perhaps it's an old wound, the day your mother turned away and you didn't understand why. To Jung, the unconscious is not a place of forgetting. It is a door, always open, leading back to the earliest experiences that shaped how you live, love, and fear in this world. And the archetype of the mother lives there, more deeply and persistently than you might imagine. In the earliest years of life, the mother is the world. And if that world was too cold, too harsh, or even too ideal, you built a reality upon it. A reality you may still be living in without even realizing it. It is a wound without a shape. And no, it is not your fault. But if you long to live as your true self, free, whole, then it is your responsibility. No one can go back in time to fix a mother. But you can go inward to understand how that mother still lives within you, quietly whispering stories that were never set free. If you feel these words touch something deep within you, take a moment to pause, like this video, as a way to help these ideas reach more souls. And if you sense that the journey of exploring the human mind is necessary, please subscribe to the channel, so we won't lose each other along the path ahead. Now, let's return to the video. Carl Jung describes the mother complex as an unconscious pattern, a hidden archetype formed from the very first relationship you ever knew in life. The bond with the one who nurtured you, or who was unable to. The issue is not simply whether your mother was good or bad. What truly matters is how your nervous system perceived her. Did she make you feel safe? Was she truly emotionally present, or merely a fleeting shadow? Was the love you received conditional, silent, or filled with unspoken demands? These primal impressions, without needing words, became the first blueprint for your psyche, an invisible yet powerful mold. And now, as an adult, you may still be unconsciously living out that blueprint, day after day. You might be drawn to people who evoke those old feelings: coldness, distance, elusiveness. Or you might become the one who always gives, always carries burdens, hoping that sacrifice will be repaid with love, just as you once hoped with your mother. Maybe you feel guilty for setting boundaries, because long ago, you were taught that love means sacrificing yourself. These are not just unconscious habits. They are emotional relics, traces left from the very first bond that shaped your being. The mother complex doesn't just influence how you love, it also affects how you perceive yourself, your worth, your deservingness, and the things you believe you must silently endure. If you have never looked into this, perhaps you are not truly living in the present. You are still reacting to a person who has lived inside you for a long time. You are no longer that child you once were. But maybe her voice still whispers in your mind, "You're not good enough. Be careful. Don't show too much. Don't be too confident. Don't be a bother. Be good." You hear that voice when you fail, when you succeed, when you try to rest and feel guilty, when you want to speak your truth and feel ashamed. And here's what Jung meant when he wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." You are not only afraid of rejection, you are afraid of being rejected by her. You don't just crave recognition, you crave a voice you've never heard. Mother is proud of you. But this is not an indictment, not to blame. It's for awakening. To realize that the emotional rules you live by were written long ago in a language you never chose. And maybe now is the time to let them go. Healing begins when you realize you no longer need to carry your mother's patterns. Awareness is the starting point. But then what? So how do you begin to gently and honestly unravel the mother complex? Not by resisting, but by returning. Returning to yourself, to the inner child who has never been truly heard. First, write down what has never been said. Not to confront, but to free yourself. Write the letters you don't intend to send. Give your inner child a chance to speak. Without fear, without suppression, no need to be good. Let the words be a place where pain is named and truth is honored, even if no one else hears. Second, learn to recognize the voices that echo in your mind. When criticism rises from the shadows, pause and ask, who is speaking? If it's not the voice of love, if it's not your own voice, you don't have to obey it. Instead, whisper what you long to hear. You are safe now. You deserve love without having to try. You are enough. Third, become the parent to yourself, day by day. No need to be perfect, just be present. Cook yourself a meal as if you matter. Sleep enough as if you deserve rest. Set boundaries, and feel no guilt for doing so. Speak to yourself kindly, even if you don't yet believe it. Especially in moments when you most dislike yourself. That's when you need compassion the most. And finally, don't walk this path alone. There are others walking the same journey, finding themselves, reclaiming their voice, rediscovering what it means to truly live. Let books, therapy, community, and even healing stories be reminders that you are not broken, you are not alone, and healing is really happening. The truth is, you may never hear the apology you once hoped for. There may never be a comforting hug or the gentle words you waited for throughout your childhood. But that doesn't mean you have to live forever in lack. Because at some point, you stop searching for the love you never received and begin to become the one who can give it to yourself. This is the ultimate act of maturity. Being a parent to the child inside you, holding space for those forgotten needs, speaking to yourself with the tenderness you once longed for, protecting the parts of yourself that were hurt, neglected, overlooked. You begin to ask, what does the child inside me need right now? And instead of ignoring it, you pause and listen. No judgment, no rushing to fix. Just listen, like a mother strong and awake enough. This path will not be easy. There will be sorrow for what's been lost. There will be anger for what you should have received but never did. Yet within that honesty, there may also arise compassion. For your mother herself, a human who was once a child too, and never truly taught how to love fully. Carl Jung once said, "Wholeness does not come from perfection, but from integration." You don't need to erase the past. You just need to hold it fully, look it in the eye, and choose a different way to live. You carry your mother's story within you, but you are not doomed to repeat it. When you become the mother you once needed, tender, steady, full of light, the voice inside you will change. No longer an echo from old days, but a new voice of awakening, freedom, your true self. And that is where the real healing journey begins. If the words in this video touch something inside you, know that you are not alone on this path. You are not broken. You are simply learning to come back to the whole self you were always meant to be. If this message resonates with you, please subscribe to the channel to continue walking together on the path of healing, facing the darkness, and from there, stepping into the light of your true self. And if you're ready to begin, leave an affirmation in the comments. I choose to end this cycle. Perhaps this simple phrase is the very first door you open on the journey back to freedom.